Hello, Sim Gamers. We're kicking this episode off with a comment from Coupling Rhino. I saw a video of a super yacht smashing into a dock the other day and could instantly see that the guy had learned about boating in Sailwind. Was it this one from Super Yacht Fan? As Frequist points out, the dev has damage modeling on the medium-term roadmap, so I guess at some point we'll have to learn how to be more careful. Welcome back once again, Sim Gamers. That was Bedrock by Harris Heller, available as part of the Stream Beats Ambient playlist. And it looks like I have finally burned out this lantern, so we'll go replace it with a replacement later on. And I'm just going to take a look at the strength of the wind, the height of the waves. We've definitely gotten ourselves out into the open ocean once again, leaving Happy Bay. And our course is more or less correct. In fact, if I loosen one on the mizzen mast, I'll tend to turn a little windward, just naturally speaking, so I don't even need to put any rudder input. That's a problem that'll just fix itself. And if I'm not happy with how much my ship is tending to heel over, I can certainly let out some tension on the mainmast. But as we are right now in these bigger waves and stronger winds, we're totally fine for the moment. I do believe we're catching new kinds of fish, and if you look at the color of the water, we are most decidedly in the Fort Astrin region. Or the Astrin region, I should say. And at some point... Oops, not that button. We are going to want to take a look at our... navigational readings, but I'm just catching some food first. That would have been disastrous. I almost threw my rod overboard. Oh god. Maybe not disastrous. I have plenty of backup food, but still problematic. Well, there's no doubt about it. That storm is slowly but surely catching us. We're still on course the right direction, so I'm happy about that. Thankfully, I've got plenty of backup food. So if I find myself having to spend a lot of time dealing with sales and stuff, it's not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and tighten the main mast by 2 and the mizzen mast by 1 peg. This configuration is slowly turning us leeward, it looks like. So let me grab this mizzen and pull it one more. Oh, let's see how we're doing this morning. Sun setting in the pre-dawn hours. Turn on some lights to make it a little easier to see until the sun actually comes up. How's our course doing? Our course is a little off. The wind has shifted and we are more or less dead in the water. All right, fair enough. Let's see how this treats us with a little bit more. There we go. And we're moving. Hooray. The sun is up. We no longer need our lanterns, I don't think. Oh, wait, we do. We do. The sun's up, but it's not quite casting enough light to... And I know YouTube has a difficult time with dark screens. Am I going the right direction? Not quite. I want to turn more windward. And I think the way to do that is just to get our front lateen here, our main mast, essentially configured for close-hauled sailing. Without having made the observations we made on our way to Happy Bay yet, coming up as our first observation, the only and with storms and everything like that, the only navigation technique we've been able to use is It's called Dead Reckoning. Part of that, however, is getting a sense of how far you've gone based on time. If I remember correctly, we've been at sea 2 days. And going north-northwest the whole time, but I don't know how fast I was going, nor am I particularly aware of what the distances are between all the major places. So all I can say with any sort of information is that I reasonably believe I've been heading more north-northwest than anything from Happy Bay. It's been 2 days. I don't see anything on the horizon ahead of me. I don't see anything on the horizon behind me, so I'm somewhere in open water. But that's what this upcoming noontime observation is all about. So the procedure, once again, to remind you, is we are waiting until this thing reaches noon. And we can see, by the way, that we're like 37 or 38 latitude. Right there, it's crossed noon. Local noon has us at 11 minutes before. For easy math, I could call it 12 minutes before. Once again, we divide that 12 minutes by 4 minutes per degree. That gives us a 3, which, if I hold this up, if we're saying we're between 37 and 38 latitude, and we are at 3 degrees east, I'm putting my finger on the screen, but I'll hopefully highlight this on the graphic in the editing. That puts us about here, which still says north-northwest, somewhere between north-northwest and northwest. Some sailing days that really is just as easy as getting your sails configured for neutral sailing, going the direction you want to go, and just letting her head that way. This is usually when I'm playing on my own. I'm tuning into someone else's YouTube channel, or finding some other entertainment along the way. If you're tuning into one of my recordings during a boring part of your day or your gameplay, I appreciate it. Alright, Sim Gamers, here's the situation coming into the evening. We're essentially heading due north on what I would consider an unfavorable tack. So we're going to go ahead and crank the wheel over and get ourselves on the starboard tack. Hopefully this momentum carries through. We're intentionally weather vaning the mizzen mast so that the wind will catch the main mast first. Yes, tending to push our ship in that direction. Perfect. Now we can just straighten out the wheel. Get ourselves lit up and trimmed for this tack. I'm going to see if I can't head at least a little bit north and do that through the night. And then, of course, the trick will be observing tomorrow how far westward we actually went overnight. As the stars come out tonight, though, we are going to take a look at our latitude. Okay, midnight observations, or not midnight. Nighttime observation, North Star. Where are you? Right there. So that's pretty clearly 38 degrees on the latitude. Pull up the map here. That puts us on this 38 degree line. Before we had done the reading, we were between basically just west of 3 degrees. And we were going north-northwest. So we haven't gone all that far. But I think we're past the halfway mark. Good morning once again. Oh, we've woken up to a nice gale. Sun's just over the horizon. How are we doing on course? We ended up turning more westward than I wanted. But the winds are more favorable for the course we want to maintain. However, I need to prevent myself from sinking right now. So I'm going to let out some tension and then get ourselves where I want to be pointed, maybe. All right. Until proven otherwise, I think I want to go northwest. Or north-northwest. And it looks like the wind is really in our favor for doing that. For those keeping track, or those who care, I have been, I lost sight of land near the end of the last episode, beginning of this episode. And I've been at this, so far, 1 hour and 10 minutes, in case you're interested how long it actually takes to do these traversals. So we can decidedly call this 38 degrees latitude right here, and all we need to do is wait for this needle to get across the middle point there, which indicates local high noon. Compare that to the chronometer, run a quick calculation, and find our longitude based on that. This, of course, would be even more accurate if I had a little table with a chronometer on it. Now. All right. That was 9 minutes before noon. For easy math, if I call it 8 minutes before noon, divide 8 by 2 degrees, or I'm sorry, 4 degrees, 4 minutes per degree. That puts us on the just east of the 2 longitude line here. So we're calling it 38.2, which means we're still directly on course north-northwest, maybe 2/5 of the way to Mount Malefic. All right, coming up on evening, we are still on course. Just grabbed another fish. Winds are getting awfully strong here, so I'm gonna let out some pressure on these winches to try and keep my sailing set up the way that I want. Oops. And go ahead and get a evening observation of the North Star, which is this way. North Star, where are you? Right there. So that's 38, maybe 39 degrees. Might be hard to see it at night right now, but I bet in the morning we'll catch sight of land. We're definitely sailing broad beam right now, though, so while I have a little bit of light and can get my sails tuned to where I want, I'm going to do that before settling down. Let's go with that. And we're hydrated. Oh, I do love the look of these lanterns. Down we go for nighty-night. With any luck, landfall in the morning, or sight of land in the morning. Hello, Sim Gamers. Good morning. The sun is up. The day is bright. The lantern is on the ground. And more importantly, let's see how we're doing, actually. Bingo! Land ho! Right there. We're currently not moving much, because the wind has apparently shifted on us. Yeah. Alright, that's fine. If my estimation is correct, well, we'll talk about it in a bit. Let me get my sail set up. We've actually made landfall get myself set up for forward sailing. And then we'll go from there. So, to recap the last hour and 40 minutes of real time, we've been able to use our navigation by stars and sun techniques to get us from out of sight of Happy Bay to in sight of Mount Malefic, which we're essentially aimed directly for right now. This is not the most favorable attack in the world. So we'll have some slow sailing ahead of us. At this point, we can use pilotage to navigate. We no longer need our instruments. But to recap for one last time the techniques being used. I'm actually turning a little bit too much windward here. I'll end up losing all my speed. To recap the techniques used. We do noontime readings to find out when local noon is. We do some quick math to determine, to convert that, we do a noontime reading to find out when local noon is. We compare local noon to the chronometer, which is set to longitude 0. Noon at longitude 0 is noon on the chronometer. We do some math to compare the difference between what the chronometer reads and what local noon is to determine what our longitude is. And in particular, it's 4 minutes per degree of longitude. And that got us here. With those navigation tricks in mind, we are now in sight of Mount Malefic, which we're going to handle in the next episode, this final phase of our trip. Until then, I'm Sim Gamer, and this has been Sailwind Early Access.